Alright. Hi, welcome to my stream. I'm going to show you how to make a map in Dungeon Draft. And let's see here. Main monitor. So I have Dungeon Draft open. Here's the map I'm going to be making. This is based on a sketch Molly made during the Wicked Ones session yesterday. Wicked Ones is a rules narrative system. It's D6 system where you basically roll 2d6 and determine whether or not you fail between a result of 1 and 3, a mixed success on 4 and 5, and then a result of 6 is a definite success. So dungeon creation in Wicked Ones is simple, but I did have a few confusing steps just because players were skipping around too much. But once I got things figured out, you have, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 things to pretty much place. The discovery is the thing that's randomly rolled when you first make your dungeon, and this can either be a hindrance or a boon to your players. This one right here is supposed to be a hindrance. The player's dungeon is on the other side of a waterfall. So this is what this blue square right here is, or rectangle. This right here is a waterfall. And then this is all inside the area behind the waterfall. They decide to put a trap here, a tier 1 trap, which is one of the starting options. Then they put a tier 1 layer right at the start. Because in Wicked Ones, when enemy adventurers invade your dungeon, they come in through the front door, they trigger your traps, and then they head down the hallway and try to get to your inner sanctum, which is what this staircase right here is for. So having your lair right here means that the monster right here will fight them when they get to here. Alright, so they also misinterpret the rules a little bit. You're only supposed to have one entrance to your dungeon. But then they went ahead and drew this out and were explaining what this was for. This is the tier 3 room. It's a tavern. The tavern is supposed to give a bonus to your minions. However, they decided that they wanted to use it as a way to gather information from adventurers and passerbys, as well as also give morale bonuses to their minions. So this is why there's also an entrance over here. And I'll definitely be using that against them. Right here is a locked door. It's marked employees only to prevent people from accidentally going in here and discovering their minion room, which then leads to the prison and then the inner sanctum. I'll pull up my rulebook. If you're interested in playing Wicked Ones, you can always grab the free version off of DriveThruRPG. And additionally, if you want to play in a game, I might run one on Sunday or just teach people how to play if you're interested. So feel free to message me. Alright, I'm pulling up a rule book just so I can read out what each room does. There you go. Oh yeah, they also picked the hideout. And the tier 3 room in the hideout is the tavern. You have a luxurious tavern complete with a bar, shelves, alcohol, a roaring fire, and usually a scuffle. Your minions gain morale during recovery and take 1d when fighting invaders here. Wandering monsters also show up from time to time. A tavern might need a bartender, lots of alcohol, or a bard. Kind of feels like the tavern is the same thing as the minion room, only it's a cool place for them to fight at. I'm going to double check what the minion room does. Oh wait, the minion layer is a tier 2 room. Huh. So let's see, assign a single pack of minions to this room. These minions get morale each recovery and take 1d when defending the room against invaders. Give it 2 atmospheric traits from the minor room list. And the next one next to it is the tier 2 prison. A room with 4 cells that can contain prisoners who can't escape without opportunity. If invaders enter the room, make a fortune roll to determine... Whoops, lost my place. If invaders enter the prison, make a fortune roll to equal to the dungeon tier to determine whether your prisoners can be freed. Alright, so I guess made one mistake here. This right here is supposed to be a tier 2 room. That's also the tier 2 room, and you're only supposed to have one tier 2 room. Oh. Okay, I see. There's a minor room and then a minion layer. And I think I got it mixed up between the minor room and minion layer. This is the minion layer right here is supposed to be a minor room. A simple room built only to please your minions and give your dungeon atmosphere, such as a mess hall, latrines, a skull-filled corridor, or a garden. When you build one, all minions morale and you take 1d on your next calamity roll. Give it 2 atmosphere traits: bright, cold, cluttered, crumbling, dim, echoing, hot, noisy, silent, smelling, spooky. Okay, so this right here is supposed to be a different room. Let's see here. Where's my thing? Here we go. Edit tools. We're gonna pull up the drawing tool, and we're going to make this really small. We're going to take some red text, and then we're going to write in its place and there we go. So I made that correction. Alright. So these two rooms kind of give a redundant buff, but this one is a tier 3 and they don't immediately start with it. Plus they're going to be using it to gather information, which is not in the rulebook. If I read it to you out loud. Essentially, this room right here is supposed to be a place for your minions to hang out and for monsters to meet up there. And the players wanted to use it to gather information from adventurers. So they're going to have to basically use this as a front or a business, essentially. And then when the humans are gone, they can use that as a place for the minions to hang out and have fun at and attract monsters. So I guess I'll probably have to write up some sort of special thing that says during the morning, humans will show up and arrive, and then at sundown humans will hang out there, and then you have to kick them out, and then at sundown your minions and other monsters will arrive there and hang out. But let's see here. I'm just double checking, make sure everything else is pretty much correct here. Ream of Suffering. This right here is sulfur. There's a pool of sulfur in here. And a small pathway leading around it. Not sure how to make this a horrible thing for them. I guess they walk through it and they immediately start vomiting. This is for the players and NPCs. It's just a very bad room to go through. Alright, let's see here. Oh, and the trap is supposed to be a log trap that swings down and knocks them outside of the waterfall. So let's let the ink dry. I think I'm pretty much ready now. I made my corrections, so let's just close that out. We're gonna make a new map here. I would say that we probably want to go with 40-40. This is asking the width and height of the tile. I think typically maps are like 40-40, but you don't want to go too big in Dungeon Draft. Otherwise it just takes a really long time to load when you put it into Foundry. And since I'm the host, if it takes a long time for me to load, if someone's internet is terrible on the other side, it'll probably take them even longer to load it. I made one really large map just to test that out, and it would not load for one person. It was also pretty slow. Now I'm going to edit the asset pat, and I don't need my sci-fi pack stuff in here. I can use the base asset pack. Do I need the setup wizard? Not really, no. But no, I don't need it. The setup wizard just basically runs a automated quick dungeon creation process for you, which is unnecessary since I already have a map made. So let's see here. So these are the controls at the bottom, pretty much kind of little. It takes some getting used to. Let's see here. This is to turn off and on the grid. I need this on at all times. This is to turn on snapping. The items will snap to the grid and points in between the grid, or they'll snap around key areas around a grid. I usually leave that on when I'm creating the dungeon, but I turn it off when I start placing stuff. This is the zoom level. This right here won't come into play since this is currently a 1-level dungeon, but when it does, actually, let me go ahead and do it now, actually. Let's see here. So currently I'm at the ground level. This dungeon will be 2 levels because the first level is what I showed you here, and then the stairs head down into the inner sanctum where the players are waiting to face the adventurers. So I'm gonna go to level. Here's ground, and then I'm gonna put sanctum. Try not to misspell it. And then I need to make sure sanctum is below ground. Why is it new level sanctum? Now then, right here, here's ground, and here's sanctum. Alright, now then, in this section right here, this is the trace image thing. This is what I'll be using. So I'm going to trace the image. Oop. I'm going to go to downloads. Yes, I have it saved in my downloads. I'm going to open up the image, the inked one with my corrections, and then I'm going to scale it up all the way. And then I'm going to increase the opacity so I can actually see it. And then I'm going to center it. It is centered. And then I'm going to check my lines. And by check my lines, basically I'm saying to make sure all the little sketch lines line up onto the grid, so it's easy for me to quickly make the map itself. So it looks like they're all pretty close. Yeah, see, this is a 5 feet room. Sorry, 5'10", so that's 10 feet across. Doorway to the room. This right here, this line right here is just Molly sketching. She sketched this because she's an artist instead of, using blocks and slowly drawing along the line like I would have done. Oh, let me show you the Foundry version. With the Wicked image. I should really stop using Wicked in all my game names. I don't know why I'm doing that. There we go. Alright, so here's the version Molly drew. Oh, well, I mean, it's not really necessary now because I already corrected it. I'll probably end up correcting it correcting it in the character sheets as well, but this is supposed to be a minor room. Dun dun dun. Ah, shoot. I should probably correct it now, though. There we go. So, this is the sketch they did. And you can sketch in Foundry. When the GM gives you permission, you can just click the drawing tool, the little squiggly line, and then you get to draw stuff. And then you can double click it, left click it, and then you can edit the lines. It's not a drawing program, so keep that in mind. So it can get kind of, I guess, frustrating as a word to edit all this drawings. So you gotta make sure your drawing has purpose, or you're drawing with purpose, and you don't overlap stuff that you want to delete later. But otherwise, it does get the job done. We quickly made a map in a few minutes. Well, a few minutes in drawing time, and trying to figure out what we're gonna make, it was a lot longer. It was like I want to say like an hour and 30 minutes to make this dungeon while going through the rule book. But I guess I digress is the word for it. Let me focus on this. Alright, so I maximize it. The reason why I went 40 for 40 instead of actually trying to measure out the exact amount of squares I need, because I'm probably going to end up expanding the dungeon anyways. So also the empty space right here, it'll be really helpful in Foundry. For some reason in Foundry, well, at least I can't figure out how to expand the map area. So like add more map zones to the bottom left or to the right, so I can add like extra stuff. So in Foundry, this inner box right here is the actual play area, and the outer box is like the area where the GM gets to mess around in, or extra space for the GM to use, or padding, I guess. So anyways, I like to add extra padding onto my maps, even though I don't use that area. That would be probably useful for the GM. So I'm going to, it's centered already. I'm going to double check the areas. So because this is so far over here from the left side, I can actually doodle some more on the outside right here. Oops, keep shrinking. Yeah, okay. That's pretty good. Let me save it. So let's see here. So I'm gonna call this Wicket 1's Dungeon Map 1. Gonna save, and it's saving both the bottom and the all the floors. So if you're making a multiple floor dungeon, it's easier to just work out of one Foundry project, because you can save them all instantly with one press of the button, and then you have to export them all separately. But the nice part is that you get to compare the levels, so you can easily line up the staircases and stuff, which I'll be doing probably towards the tail end. So let's start with the walls. Let me open up Foundry. Players wrote down the stuff they said they wanted their dungeon to look like, and this, oh actually I could have named it Knife Point Dungeon. I forgot they gave it a name. So I'm actually going to change my how do I save as? There we go. Alright, so typically I like to use the building tool, because this is like the quick, fast way of constructing a dungeon. You basically select the wall, and then you select the floor type, and then you just drag and drop until you're done, like so. However, the issue with this is that it automatically connects nearby rooms, so I have to go back through with the wall tool and then remake these walls, like so. And of course, yeah, you can't really see the ground plane, because the tracing image is kind of covering it up. But you have this separate wall tools just to be safe. I actually need to be careful here. So This is the tool I usually use just to speed things up. I'm going to double check and make sure none of these walls gets too close together, in which they'll automatically snap together, because that would be a pain. I guess this one right here doesn't really have much of a doorway. It just wants to loop around here. I feel like I can use the blast tool for that room. Same thing for this one, and then these right here will be actual constructed walls. Probably the blast tool for this one right here as well. And then this will be actually be an area, so I'll put it right here. Yeah, I think stone flooring. Oh, whoops, forgot to read the text. So, dungeon stuff. Yeah, okay, here we go. Alright, so this is the Agents of Chaos. So dungeons and Wicked Ones each have like a special thing they specialize in. This one right here is a special perk, blaming other people for your problems, which goes really well with their idea of getting a tavern and what they wanted to do with it. And I guess you should be calling them lairs, not dungeons. A hideout is a place to lay low and keep an eye on the world. So you could probably picture more as like rogues or people who manipulate politics from the shadows. I kind of feel like they're not going to do that. Oh, I got a drop. Let me. All right. So entrance. The entrance is entirely covered by the waterfall. Only the markings of knives on the rocks outside, serving as a hint of where nefarious deeds take place. Okay, stone walls with wood supports with hidden catches. This is the overall structure of the dungeon. Lighting, torches or candles placed either in large rooms, hallways, intersections, or so soft thing. And this one right here is really long for no reason, I feel like. The constant sound of dripping from the occasional infiltration, which does little to stone others, then offer growing spots for moss. Constant sound of dripping. So dripping water, and then moss is everywhere, and then rushing water. So this is more like the sound effects. Really, the only thing I can really pick out of here is moss and dripping water, probably. So I'll probably be adding more pools of water everywhere. Let me leave this open so I can just come back here. So let's see here. I think the word is drapes. Let me make sure I spell that correctly. Yeah. And players also said the other thing they would need is alcohol. I'm doing a little bookkeeping while I work. I forgot how to spell alcohol. There we go. So those are the two things they need. These are the example requirements. I'll worry about that later. Alright, everything else is good. Master plan, they haven't done their master plan. Okay. Now then. Wait, I didn't figure out the wall type. That's what was in there. Alright, waterfall, blah, blah, blah. Stone walls. Okay, good. So they want stone walls and probably, I guess, stone flooring. Yeah, I'm gonna go with stone flooring and stone walls. So this is battlements. Oh, concrete, cobblestone. But I would think like nicely refined stone is pretty good for this one. So stone wall here, stone wall here. Boop. 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 And then boop. And even it out a little bit so it looks kind of cool. And then for the tavern, I have to change it. I think probably like a wooden flooring would be better for a tavern and wooden walls. And then I'll set this up like this. So to make slanted walls like this thing once, you have to you have to edit it after the fact. So first I'm going to put in my standard walls, and then I'll figure out how to do that. Oh, you know what? I'm pretty sure if I connect, yep, okay. So the issue with this, when you use the building tool, as soon as you connect a wall, like what I just did, if you try to connect two separate things, so like a wooden ground and wooden walls with a stone wall and stone flooring, it fuses them together like this. So the walls change to match everything else, and then the flooring doesn't though, and that's a little bit of an issue. Though I could have stone walls, but I feel like that's too much of a giveaway. I don't know. I mean, I guess I could have stone walls. Here we go. Wooden flooring, stone walls. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good way of doing it. Actually, let me just undo until it's back to normal. There we go. Redo. And then there. There's a there. Alright. So this has wooden flooring, wooden walls, and then let's see here. I want things to be even, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna give them one extra little cube of feet here. Okay, now I'm gonna go to edit points. I'm going to then move this one to here. I think it has to be, probably move it back to here. Move this one down. Why does it seem different? It seems a little lopsided. Did I not do it evenly? Could have sworn I did it evenly. 3 squares away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, even number squares. Just seems lopsided. Does that fix it? Oh, you know what? I think I went back one too many points. Yeah, there we go. I think that matches kind of the shape that they were going for. What do you think, chat? I think chat thinks so. Alright. Excuse me. This is carpet. Alright, let's see here. So these are all the walls that they, like the minions, carved out. The other stuff are stuff that just flopped open. Like they dug into here, and then they found a cavern that was a toxic pit of stuff that caused them to puke. They carved into here, and then they found like a small little opening. So that's a cave. So we're gonna skip making doors from now, just because I don't need that till later. We're gonna do cave entrance. We're gonna increase the brush size because I pretty much know what my cave entrance is gonna be, and I'm gonna draw it over here. Gonna click there, click around here. Alright, so I noticed that little thing. So this walls will automatically update to account for caves bumping into it, so you gotta be careful. So I like to quickly just draw around it and then just erase it slowly by holding down Alt and left clicking. And this one right here might go over a little too much, so you just delete it a little bit. And there you go. And then I feel like I want this opening right here shut a little bit more than it actually is. So I'm going to decrease the brush size just a little bit. So it's just like a 2 square opening. Yeah, and then when I make sure the walls look nice, I'm gonna like delete a little bit so it auto configures properly. And then this right here had too much, so I'm gonna delete this area right here. Oh, let me show you what the tool actually does, because the tracing thing's there. So this is what it looks like when you're painting, and then you go through it with the erase brush, and it does that. So you can get a pretty good idea what it's gonna erase as you work. So this is more like a tunnel, and I just threw stuff down. So I'm gonna even it out a little bit more, straighten it out, make it look a little bit nicer, make it fit the shape of what they drew a little bit more. I feel like this is another 2 square opening. Typically people consider squares like these either 5 feet or 2 meters across, just because that's a universal standard of understanding how big a map is. If you start to scale up, then yeah, you should probably use larger measurements, but I typically go with either 5 feet or 2 meters whenever I'm talking about maps or making maps. And 2 feet doesn't really convert correctly to 2 meters, so you just have to round it up if you're conforming to the squares. But for systems like Wicked Ones, you don't have to worry about measurement, but it's still pretty useful when you're trying to figure out how far away is this guy. Well, let's see here. We're gonna use standard battle map measurements to figure that out. So here I'm going to switch to the large brush to save me time. Just going to fill this in real quick. Touch that a little bit. There we go. Boop. Oh, this one didn't really touch. Alright, and then we're going to go back through and erase stuff. Oh, you can have colors for your the ground plane of the map, but I don't really change it because I like the color as is. See, that doesn't really look good, so I'll just leave it like that. I'm trying to fit the form of what they drew a little bit, so it kind of looks like so they get what they want. I like to check and make sure no one's talking me on Discord. And then let me... What am I doing? Yeah, here we go. I'm going to even this to reduce this a little bit more. I don't want to spend too much space on this because then that means I have less stuff to do on the outside, or I don't get to use much on the outside. There we go. I think these walls look yeah, I think that looks nicer like that. I need to shrink down my brush. There we go. Take a little bit out of there. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So I'm leaving this open space right here because this is supposed to be like the line on the mountain, and then I'm thinking they should probably wrap around here like this, because this right here is supposed to be the doorway here. It's supposed to be a door right here. I'm trying to, and I'll probably figure out if I want to walkway to the tavern, or just have like the tavern like built on the outside of a side of the mountain. Seems a little weird, but eh. Alright, so that's done. Oh, I actually shrunk this down too much. Yeah, the white lines are mine. So I think make this a little bigger. And then I'm going to switch to the blast open tool. I'm going to show you what it does right here. So this is the cave. How do you get in there? We're going to blow it open. So you draw where you want the cave to blow up, blast open. Like so. So with this, I'm going to have the cave blast open right here. Bam. And of course I can also delete this just like before. And make sure it lines up with how I want it to. Actually, yeah, I think I like that more. Alright. And then I want to delete this. And I'm going to delete this thing right here. Let me just go to this bigger tool. What am I doing? Alright. I'm going to smooth that out a little bit. It looks a little weird. Just gotta add a, yeah, there we go. That's smoothed a bit more. Okay. So it's not going to be perfect. As you can see, there's a little thing right there, but you know, things don't have to be perfect. They just have to be, actually, I kind of want, yeah. Things don't have to be perfect. They just have to be. There we go. Let me save. Alright. I think I'm done with the this tool now. My next step is that I want to draw in walls, doors, caves. I guess I'll do doors next since that's just right here anyways. Alright, so normally doors are for these walls. They can only be slotted into the walls themselves. If you did what I did and blasted all of them open, or you just have open areas like this because you use the the quick build tool, then you can just go to here, go to unanchored to freestanding, and then you right click to rotate them. So sadly you can't resize the doors to make them larger, so you're mostly just going with the flow, I guess. I don't know what the word I'm going for. So this right here, there's no door here. This is supposed to be water. Leave that alone. I'll put wooden doors there. These doors aren't lockable since they only have a lockable door there. These are just like, you know, little thresholds to make it feel like the dungeon was, you know, built like people who wanted doors. I guess, I don't know. Threshold is interesting piece. If you combine it with walls, then it looks like the wall is just like open right there. So that's really useful if you're like building some sort of weird map where walls are like broken apart and shattered. It's easier to use this tool and slab that in one area where there's a hole instead of having to configure each wall piece. Oh, it gets the same effect. And then when you import in the family, just delete the walls. Alright, let's see here. Oh, and I need doors over here. Really wish I could increase the size of some of these doors. Oh, yeah. Oh, right. There we go. There won't be a door here because it's monster lair, so you can just wander out. Oh, right, I need a door here. Did they describe the doors? No, but I get a feeling it's mostly made out of stone and wood. So I'm going to keep with it. Plus, that's all I have is stone and wood. I don't have any real assets. So I'm going to... Oh, here's the one I was doing. So this is the snapping thing I was talking about. It'll snap on the lines or in between. For here, I'm going to put it in between because I feel like that's more of a door thing. Where it'd be like in between the areas. And then this one right here, I'll put it right here. I think I'll move this one to here. So if you want to move a door around, you're going to have to use this tool. And you click previous tool. And then save when you're done placing all your doors, of course. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. I need to do a path here, figure out how I'm going to do that, and then figure that out, figure this out. Let's focus on the front though. I think the next step is terrain brush, yes. So terrain brush is basically this right here. We're currently on the dirt. It goes in like layers, pretty much like in Photoshop. This is the most bottom layer. These are all going up. So if I took snow, drew on top of it, it would put snow on top of it. If I grab gravel and put it on top of there, could have someone went underneath. Alright, well, the most bottom layer is always going to be underneath all of these. Let me put it that way. So if I put sand here, and then I can swap it out with different colors of sand. I mean, different terrain types. So for the dirt, if I just want to change all this background dirt to something else, I can just quickly change it. I don't think they were in a very sandy place. There's a waterfall, so... Oh, I say so. Terrain dirt is probably the best one. Let's go to water. Shape. Building water based on shape isn't really much my thing, so I'm gonna do a flowy. So I'm going to draw water. As you can see, water. And I'm going to try to hit the entrance. I'll probably end up having to fix it later. But let me just thin it out a little bit. Make sure I got it more like a river. There. Let me also delete this area right here just to be safe. Cool. Now for in here, it's going to be yellowish crap. We do yellow and red, see how that looks. And test it out over here. I feel like it has the reverse effect of what I want, so I'm going to eyedrop this color here. Try again. That's more of what I want, but I want the color to be, I guess, brighter, darker. Trying to figure out why it's not turning out how I want it to be. I feel like that's too bright. Okay. So shadow is the edge color. So then this one I should probably make darker. Yeah. Alright, yeah, there we go. I think that works about more of what I want. What I'm going for. You just make it a little bit more darker. I think that looks like sulfur color. And I'll delete this right here. Alright, so now I'm going to carefully do the outer edge of this area. So we're like painting outside the lines, I guess. Okay, so here we go. So when you're using the water brush, it doesn't delete the cave entrances or the walls. So it just passes through it. So you don't have to worry about that. But if you're trying to do, if you're using Foundry, you can also just block line of sight, so it doesn't really matter how neatly you draw this. But I'm drawing it neat like this because I want to make sure that path is still there. So players won't see the mistaking of all the water outside of here. Unless I fail to put a wall there and they're on the outer rim. But let's see here. Alright, that's good enough for now. So we're going to save it again. Let's see here, rock tile. Trying to figure out how this will work. I'll have to experiment with that when I'm done. So I'm trying to create a wall without it using the blast tool because that's not going to look right. I already tried that one time. Oh, here we go, wall tool. So this right here is the cliff side, and this is what I want. Forgot that existed. So I don't want to do a straight snap to thing cliff line because that's kind of snappy. It's not very organic is the correct word. May sound a little weird, but it's not organic. So I'm going to click here, then I'm going to sort of bend it. Go a little straight for a little bit, bend it again. And if I bend it too much, it starts to look weird, so that's why I'm carefully bend it a little bit. And then I right click to confirm. Same thing here. It's going to follow, well, the light line is me. So my goal is to get here. So I'm going to actually come out to here and like bend it a little bit and come back in. And then boop, like so. Oops. I forgot to immediately confirm it. Ah, shoot. We do. Alright, so I'm going to edit control point. I'm just going to delete this one right here. There we go. And then I think this one right here didn't come out so good. I want to make this a little bit more seamless. I'm going to do what I did over here and blend it behind that wall. So I'm just going to lift it right here and put it there. I'm going to lift that a little bit more so it's angled differently. There we go. Now I'm going to continue the wall here a little bit. Turn off edit points. There we go. So, in no way is this like a permanent wall. Most likely the players might want to expand down to the, well, I kind of want to limit them from expanding this way because they want to make an entrance right here. So I guess I will make this, the definitive edge of their dungeon is this right here. They will have to expand upward this way, and as they expand their dungeon, they can move their inner sanctum area. Alright, so other stuff in here are blood trails. Oh, transition in and out is basically making it fade. I'm gonna test something out real fast. What happens when I like double layer these? Does that look good? It doesn't look very good. I was just checking to see if I can like double layer them to give them a bit more impression of higher ground. Or more of a cliff side. I guess maybe adding more to their width would have helped. Yeah, big whiffed. Alright, save. Oh, excuse me. Alright. Next step. I'm going to leave object placing for when I remove the tracing thing. I think I'm actually pretty much done with blocking everything out. Blocking out is a term used for quickly creating the generic shape of a map. But I did a little bit more. But yeah, that's blocking out for like 3D modeling and animation. Yeah. So I'm going to delete my tracing thing because I can't see the ground planes and how it actually looks, because it is covering up some of its stuff. So I'm going to pull up the this picture and just put it on the side while I work, as I no longer need to trace it and be exact. I'm just double checking right now to see if there's any other tool I'm going to try to use to trace anything out if I needed to. But nope. Alright, we're going to go to right tracing. Level. Here we go. Undo that. And then here's our map. So it looks like the ground plane didn't change, so it's all wood. I want that to be stone. That turned out pretty well. I can fix those outer areas pretty easily. Not that I really have to, I'm just, you know, I like things to be a certain way. I feel like it looks better when you do this. That way it like has the edge of the water properly into the thing. Let me add that there. I missed a little spot right here. Alright, I think that's looking pretty good. So we need to separate these somehow. Oh right, I forgot. I can just go to, well actually first I need to turn it back to stone. So first thing I'm going to do is go to my building tool layout, select the square, same wall, the floor I want it. That's weird. Well, it's not a perfect program. Occasionally you'll get bugs like this. I do find it kind of silly that it won't let me just edit one area of the walls. But that's fine. There we go. I'm gonna go to floor. Gonna click the little fancy tiled wood interlace so it looks like this. What's this one? Oh, that's just the damage tiles. Alright, so we're going to cover all this up. So we're going to draw a freeform shape. We're going to snap it to grid. Here, 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 here. And there we go. I have my wooden floor and my stone tavern. And to make things even more interesting, because this door is halfway there, I'm going to do it the halfway. Oops. Sorry, snapping. Oh no, you can see the thing underneath it. That's weird. I never noticed this before. Interesting. Alright, well in that case, I'm going to redo this wall over here. So this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go to the model tool, I'm going to go to wood, and I'm going to go to snap. I'm going to start here, click here, 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 and all over here, 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 and here. Right click. Now, I'm going to here. I'm just going to delete all this. Shoot. Oh, that's why it's doing that. There we go. And I'll have to just move this to the back a little bit more. I can fix those doors pretty easily. So let's see here. Back to the freestanding drawers. Selection tool. That doesn't work. I just start over with these walls. Are my other walls still there? Doors, sorry. Doors. Oh, my other doors still there. No, they are not. Alright, so back to previous tool. Do the let's first fix the flooring, since I'm looking at it and it looks weird to me. There we go. Reconnect it. We're gonna go to doors, anchored, and we're gonna make some big sturdy doors between here and the dungeon. There we go. And then we're also going to add some doors in the front. Yeah, here we go, reflect. These are doors, right? Yep, cool. You know, it'd be nice if I added like double doors like this. You know, make things seem different. But that's off the grid. I like being on the grid, so I'm going to move it like this. Yes. Here we go. There. I like things to be symmetrical. So now there's like two doors, so this one can be entered. While people are doing this is a pretty big tavern, so you would think they have multiple exits and entrances towards one area. The big store. Alright, so that's repaired and fixed. Everything else looks fine, except for this, I guess. I could work on this. The water isn't exactly lined up correctly, so... Oh, shoot, I had to... Which color was it on? These two colors. There we go. Alright, so that's the waterfall area. Cleaned up a little bit more. Next thing is... Oh, he's weak. Alright, I think that's everything. So now we're going to go to objects. Start doing some object stuff. This thing does come with some traps, but I don't think it's the kind of trap they want. Yep. Yeah, that's not the thing I should be going for. Guess I'll start over here and work my way out. So I want stairs. So I'm in the object tool area. Why? Those are chairs. Weird. Alright, so object area. I'm putting stuff. Stairs in. It's like a giant staircase going down. Let's do it big. So I'm trying to make the illusion that it's going down, but I feel like it's maybe that shadow is causing problems. There we go. Kind of like it like that. Nice and symmetrical. Then I'll draw a shadow there, actually. That might help sell the illusion that it's going down. So let's go to the trace tool. Or pathing, I should say. This is my shadow flat. Just not dark enough. Alright, let's see here. Ugh. Let's see here. Might need to go grab a snack at some point. Let's keep placing some objects. Give myself an idea of what everything would look like. Okay, so let's see here. We're just go ahead and clear the tags, and then we're just gonna do stuff over here. Administration, armor, bar. Yeah, here we go. Let's put in a bar. I feel like 1.6 is too big, so I'm gonna do this size. I'm gonna put it like right here, so or maybe like right over here actually. And then I'll make like a room to cover this area up. Oh, I had compare levels on. That's why I was looking weird. I didn't realize I had that on the whole time. Oops. Alright, here we go. Excuse me. Alright, got that place. Don't need that tool. Now I'm going to throw down some liquor bottles. We're going to turn off... whoops. Keep forgetting to turn on the shadows when I'm done turning it off. Yeah, shadow on the staircase doesn't look right. Unless it's at the end where it's going down. Pathing. Maybe I'm not on the right level. Oh yeah, I was on the wrong level. That looks more like the illusion I was trying to go for. Actually, no fade. Just gonna click from here. No, just stop it right there. So I had something to click on. Now I'm going to move it to above everything. I mean, layer 4 is probably better. Gonna zoom in. Oops. Let's see. Edit points is what I needed. There. So now that looks more like the illusion I was going for, where the stairs are like going down into a dark tunnel. I think that works out like that. Yes, maybe. I don't know. If we bend it outwards a bit more. It looks kind of weird. Alright, so let's see here. So then we're going to go to objects, and I'm going to keep cycling through the objects for stuff I want to use. I just usually just go in any order until I'm done. So here's a bottle. Put on shadow. I guess probably want to size this down a little bit. bar cups. Let me zoom out a little, make sure they're the correct size. You gotta check my mail real fast. Their package dropped outside. I'm also gonna hydrate a little bit. Drink some water. Alright, so what I'm doing now is I'm putting mugs on the counter. And just like slowly like organizing them around the bar to give it like a sense that people are sitting there and drinking. Each square is 5 feet, and that's like the space in which people occupy during combat. So I generally use that as like a guess, like a measurement for how many people would sit at a table, or general size of stuff as it relates. So I'm thinking 1 cup for each square, and maybe one will have 2 in case 2 people decide to sit right next to each other. And then I'm gonna sparse them around, much like the bottles I did. There you go. Let's see here. Tax information. Alright, so I'll put like 1 cup over here for the lonely dude. We'll put 2 right here. Just organize them like this. 1 there. Like 2 at the corner. Another 1 at the edge. Actually towards the bartender because he's cleaning it, I guess. There we go. Some cups. I don't think this is the type of dungeon that would have armor in it, so I would do kegs next. These kegs are awfully big for that size. I'll put barrels down. beds. So the description of this room right here is rulebook. A simple room built only to please your minions and give your dungeon atmosphere, such as mess hall, latrine, a skull-filled corridor, or a garden. When you build one, all minions gain morale. So give it two atmospheric traits: bright, cold, cluttered, crumbling, dim, echoing, hot, noisy, silent, smelly, spooky. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it's smelly because of this area. It's right next to this area. And I'm going to, well, I guess I can pick that later actually. Guess I won't put anything in it right now. I'll work on it. They don't have blacksmith. There's no need for blood. No need for bridges. Broken stuff? Nah. Bush? Nope. No bushy. Actually, let me go back to the terrain brushing. Terrain brush. Second one, terrain grass. I think it'd be nice to have some greenery out here. Why are you not erasing? Make it look a little bit more unnatural, I guess is the word I'm going for. Yeah. Yeah, I'll add the patches of bird afterwards. Increase the size of the brush. Oh, it's too big of a brush. I guess I'll stick with this size. Cool. Now I'm going to shrink it down. I'm going to add paths here. Intensity is a little high. I think the intensity is too low now. Shrink the brush. Shrinking down the brush a little bit more so you make a bit more of a, like a makeshift road rather than an actual road. Do some scratching marks. These are like collections of dirt. You know how on not necessary paths, they're just like dirt mounds. Kind of coming back up a little bit more. Just to like spread it out a bit more. Give it more feeling, I guess. So it's not just greenery everywhere. Gonna test out this cracker real fast, see how it looks if I put it over here. Yeah, no, I don't like the look of that. We're going to save. Yeah, I like this a lot better. This way they'll go, oh, this is all rock here. Okay. Now I'm just tidying up a little bit more around here. I don't want the rocks to show on the side. I think this looks pretty nice. Now I can test it out a bit more and just change colors. Like so. Maybe sand, no. That's too busy. I'll stick with terrain rocky. Alright, back to objects. We're in bushes. We're going to set up some bushes. We're going to vary their size. There is a random bush tool, but I should show you then. You can select some bushes. I just like to select all the ones I plan on using. Then you select the area in which you'll scale to. So typically you want somewhere 0.5 and then 1.5 is usually a good area. And then your spread is, I don't know, you can scale and rotation and something like that. And then now the bushes will be a bit more random. Typically if you set the scale too high, they'll make the objects too big, so I think I went up too high. I can always edit it once I'm done. But I like it to be done a certain way the first time. I collect them together like this a little bit. Alright. Cages. This is good for the prison cell. I feel like the standard size is 1. So I'm going to throw down some cages. Not sure if I want single person cages or like cages big enough for 2 people. I guess I'll just do cages. Cages are cages. Yeah. I'll do the rectangular one. I like this one. So this one looked better at size 1. So I'm going to put some cages. I have snapping off, so I can just plop them where I want. Cages aren't very organized. Maybe this one's like further back like that. Maybe these right here, yeah, they actually took time to line up properly. And then what else would make good in a prison room? You can't really put torturing implements in a prison room because there's a torture room for that. Yeah, I'm running out of ideas on how to organize this prison room, so I think I might use different things, but that one was too small. I'll probably like swap some of these out a little bit more, move them around. I think I might increase the size of some of these things. Take up more space, so that I have to put less stuff in here. And
Dun, 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 dun.
All right, I was having a conversation with someone, and what I got in the mail today is Shanty Hunters. I'll be probably reading that at some point. Right now, I'm adding in stalactites or stalagmites. I can't remember. Those little pointy things that are on the ground. These form typically when there's moisture in a cave, and they come from like the ceiling. It comes from water dripping down, I think it was, or something like that. I can't remember. No one quote me on that. Anywho, this cave is said to have lots of moisture, so I wanted to add some stalactites and stalagmites in here. Just move you over here. Get them nice and comfy in there. A little bit there. Might have added too many here, so I'm going to delete a couple. I'm going to have like 2 really big ones, like right over here, I guess. I don't know. That does look weird. Yeah, that's the problem with resizing stuff in this program. It's not really meant to be of a certain size, because the border line gets too thick. Alright. Well, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me and I'll teach you what I'm doing or elaborate. So, I put these tents in here and this cooking place right here, because this is supposed to be like the monsters like hangout room. Effectively, this is just where they can just hang out or whatever the players want it. And they said they wanted to make it a minion lair, but that's a tier 2 room, so I'm making this look like a minion lair without not actually making it the minion lair. This is just the tier 1 room, minor room. So this is just a monster hangout area when they're not when they're off the clock. They eat food here or just hang out. I put a wagon here because that's like when they have to go to work, they grab the wagon and rush out there to grab the player's loot and bring it back to the dungeon. These are their tents where they sleep and rest. Now for the chairs. I like to put my chairs like I said before, I try to make it so that it makes somewhat sense of how many people are sitting there, and I try to base it off of the 5 feet squares. So typically you'll find 1 person each bench area. I have no need for clutter. No need for cobwebs. Colorables are things that you can edit the color to, which I actually probably need. Color is wrong. Let me just match the color. There we go. I think I should make it brighter. Okay, so I have to bounce over this myself. Okay. Alright, so to simulate a waterfall, you want like 1 big puff here. And like a couple small ones. I guess, I don't know. Like that. Yeah, sort of like what's in the image right here, I guess. I think this is probably the... I think this one might work out better though. I just put this giant one right here. Doesn't matter that much. Alright, let's see here. What else do I need? I must put some flowers on the outside. Let's do maybe purple. Let's do red. Size this back down to the standard of 1, I guess. And we're gonna put some flowers here. Trick people into thinking this is a normal, everyday tavern. Perfectly normal tavern. I'm gonna build another room here. Fill it with some supplies. I'll put some crates here. And then like fill it with some fruit. I guess yellow for brown. I can't, what color would fruit be? I guess yellow is bananas, so let's go with that. There's bananas there. There. So when stacking crates, you just have to put one over them, and then here you go, you got a steak rat. So it looks pretty realistic like that, yeah? Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to do the same thing here, but I'm going to do a little differently. I'm going to put the 2 crates here, put them right next to here, and then put another crate on top of them. This is kind of how people do it sometimes. I'm going to increase the size of this crate slightly, decrease it on this one, and then put an empty crate on top of them both. Shrink it down a little bit. That felt weird. Alright. Yeah, this would be cool to have a guillotine just in here. Or a hangman's thing. Yeah, so players can just like execute prisoners whenever they want. So that was rather large. Oh well. I'll put a piano in here. I'm gonna copy and paste one of these. Bar stools. Alright. Huh, I don't remember. Yeah, the ship has, it's been there before. Alright, let's see, snow. put a treasure chest. All right, tables. Oh, excuse me. Probably put the tables towards the center area, and then I'll cut this area off right here and make it into like the storage, and that's the do not enter area. So let's see here, table here, table here, table here, table here. Table here. I think that looks pretty good. Put like a little treasure chest there. Close one over here. Just for funsies. Trees. Broken window, wood. No need. Oh, excuse me. Actually, let's put a couple stumps out here, because where else did they get that wood from? Trying to find a place to put the firewood. Being too realistic, I guess. I don't know. I'll put the firewood over here. Alright, so now I just need to put in some, I want the wall here. I need to do that before I forget. Then a door. And this right here is like the storage room. That's weird. Oh, I can't do much about that. Alright, I'm going to leave the sanctum for later, for when the party wants to describe what each of their rooms is like, and I'll help them draw it too. Or draw the inner sanctum, because we didn't actually do that. So I'll leave that up to the party, but I'm going to put chairs at these tables, and then I'll probably say I'm done. Call the stream there. Well, after I pour the foundry and show you how it's done. Let's see here. I'm looking for object, all, stool. We're looking for dining. No. Actually, let's put a slab of meat on this table here. What am I thinking? I need to first put down a plate, then a slab of meat. There you go. I guess that doesn't work like that. Where is the... bar? There it is. Alright, so, dang it. I was hoping the, stuff I was looking for was going to be underneath there. Chairs. I guess C for chairs. I guess these are the only chairs there are. Alright, so these are going to go under. One for each square, just like before. Slap them right there beneath them. Save. And now I'm pretty much done with the dungeon. I just need to put lights in it, but I'll do that. Actually, I can actually put some lights in there right now. Whoops, I switched off the tool. So let's see, torch. I don't like doing lights in Dungeon Draft because I don't think the color really works very well when you import it into Foundry. However, I will put these lamps on the walls. One there. Maybe one here. I'll put it like one here and then like one here. Gotta space them out. And then maybe like one here, one over here. And then as you enter in here, there's a light on the wall right here because that's the only place you could really reach. And then one over here towards the exit. And maybe one over here at the start. Then in here, you'll get them at the very edges, sort of. So here. I guess right here is good. Nah, I don't like it right there. Put it right here. I say just putting these at opposite walls is fine for this room. And in this room there's going to be two sources of light, I would say, symmetrical, kind of. And then here I put torches on the walls at the tavern corners. Oh wait, that's there, so never mind. I'll put it right here. And here. I'll just delete those. And then one right here. And here. And that should be all the torches I need. So I'm going to save, and then I'm going to throw on some lights. Lights. These are too bright, so I need to lower the intensity, I guess, by 0.5. Yeah, I think that looks good. Need to make it look like a torch color. Need to lower the range by 2.5, I think. Which I think 3 is fine. And I just gotta click all these torches real fast. Alright. So I'm having second thoughts about the stuff in this area. So I don't want to put a torch right next to the fire. That would be kind of a mistake. Maybe delete this and I'll have more space for torches. That's fine. Excuse me. Alright, so I'm going to save that. Going to open up Foundry. Going to delete that. Going to close out of that. Going to go to the map window. Going to go to Universal Battle Importer. Going to go to Choose File. Oh shoot, that's right. I'll just re-import it. Actually. Yeah, it's fine. Let's add 2 files. There we go. So I was thinking for a moment of how I can override the file. I don't think I ever overrided the Universal Battle Map imported files before. I was wondering if I could. So the way that importing stuff in Foundry works is that you have to export it as a specialized file. First you want to make sure you don't have any objects held in your little cursor. Then you want to go to Export, Universal VT, and then Export. Save it as the name that you want for the map. This one is, of course, Knife Point Hideout. Going to close out that. We're then going to go down to level 2. And then we're going to export this one as well. We're going to call this one Knife Point Hideout Sanctum. So this is where the players will be constructing their rooms. And then essentially this one right here is a placeholder, and I'll show you what happens and why. We're going to go to Foundry. I clicked add another file, so I have 2 here. So I'm going to select the primary map. Where am I? Okay, I'm in here. Oh, scenes. Find the file. Oh my god. I didn't save it. Knife. There we go. So my first one is Knife Point Hideout. My second one will be Knife Point Sanctum. It's going to be layout to a grid. I'm going to click import. It's going to take a while to run this. Gonna wait for it to finish. When it's finished, I'm going to go to my scene, and here's all the stuff. So this is the first map, and when you add another map to it, it then attaches it to that map. So this is the secondary map. And the reason why I added that over there is so that it kind of holds the place. So I can go, alright, so here's your level 1. Now draw your inner sanctum on the right hand side. And I'll take a picture of that and import it and whatnot. Also note that the doing the add another file, it does it like this. So this is file 1. Let me use my pen tool. File 1. File 2 goes here. File 3 goes there. And then file 4 goes there. So that's the only way I really know how to expand the map. So the map's done, and as you can see, there's lighting in here. Let me grab a player token. So as you can see, the walls are already made there for you. If you approach the door, you have to left click it to open. I should probably, yeah, I'll just do this now. I don't want to forget again. Let's see here. So importing to the family will automatically do the lighting for you because it adds in the walls and then it adds in the light sources on the torches, as well as the doors. And then you just have to sit there and edit it yourself when you're done. Or, well, you might have to do some cleanup editing just to make sure everything works perfectly. So for example, right here, I don't want there to be 2 doors here. I just want, you know, 1 click to open both sides. So I just need to go to doors, delete one of those, and drag the other one out to here. And then it looks like this wall right here isn't really connected very well. Okay, yeah, there is a connection there. So now when I select the player, or actually when I go off the wall selection thing, and now it's just 1 door that has to open and shut. Now, to test out the lighting, you can see, and the lighting tool is activated, you can see all the rays of light from the torches are bouncing around pretty well everywhere. Now when I transition to darkness, you'll see the lighting makes more of an effect then. Takes more of an effect then. Transitioning to darkness, there's actually like a transition, so it's like slowly fades to dark. As you can see from the outside, outside it's completely dark here, and here's like the torch light is spraying out there, slowly lighting up the waterfall from in the inside. And then as you can see, these torches here just make this area inside of here still kind of bright. There's plenty of torches in here, good amount of torches in here. If I grab my player character, move them to different rooms, you can see the lighting effect on the character. Let's move them out here. I haven't really mastered lighting for characters yet in Foundry, so if I move all the way over here, you'll see it gets like this right here is like bright vision distance. This right here is like cast in darkness a little bit, and then finally out to here is like you absolutely can't see unless you have a light source, and that's the light source right there helping you see. I feel like the best way to do lighting or vision cones in Foundry is to basically set their dim vision down to like 10. I think, yeah. Dim vision, no, they're like 20, I think it was. Yeah. Dim vision is like, you have to convert this to meters. 2 meters each, I think. Yeah. I forget how I did the math on it. But it goes by the squares that you're by on the map squares, so gotta make sure you update that. I like to use 2 meters just because my players have been playing Dark Heresy 2E, so I want to make sure they just keep in the mindset of 2 meters per square. Gonna update it. So as you can see, this right here is my. Let me reset the fog of war. So as you can see right here, this is the extent of the vision radius. This right here is the bright vision. This here is the dim vision, which is really weird wording, I would say, but otherwise, whereas, oops. It's kind of weirdly worded, but see, 2 meters is the bright distance here. And the 10 meter range is the dimly lit. And then out here is the dark. So no, I think you should, well that's weird. You should not be able to see that person over there. I think it's because of my lighting settings. Oh well. Oh, you know what? Configure permissions. I set everyone owner is the issue. So if I just set everyone is observer and you are the owner of this token. Save. Same thing for you. Now then. Ah, dang. What did I do? Maybe that's just for me. I'm logged in as a GM, so I have to like relog as a player to actually test this. So I shall test this real quick. Oops. Doesn't matter. Can't even do anything with that. All right, here we go. So in Foundry, you can actually relog. You can do like a test log as a player just by clicking on invitational links, and then what is she doing in here? Oops. Oh, dang. Nope. There we go. Oh, you know what? I logged in as the wrong person. That's me. Yes. I realize that mistake now. Alright, so I need to log in as Belina. Cool. Did I give control over the wrong tokens to people? Interesting. Alright, well, it works on the player side now. I have less fall checked on, so that it prevents the GM from like losing complete line of sight when he clicks a token, because that's really annoying as a GM. So right now I have to figure out who I set this person's token to. Wait, I logged in as Molly? That's weird. I logged in as Belina. There we go. All right. Yeah, here you go. Oops. Ignore that error message. That doesn't mean anything. So, as you can see, this is the player token selected. I'm on the player. I'm logged in as a player right here, Belina, who's playing as Darrell, and they can't see the player that was right here, but they can see slightly there in the waterfall. So I'll demonstrate that now. I'm gonna move this over here. I'm gonna move you over here. Let me turn off that pause menu thing. And as you can see, they can now see the player there. Now I'm gonna move the player over here into the light. And then now you can see these, you still see the player there. But this right here is like your line of sight. And that's kind of why you want vision turned on. It's just so you have the line of sight of people. But vision really only works when you're either playing in dark. Usually is what I use vision for. It's kind of hard to like set it just right so their vision radius actually matches their vision ratio thing if they were in bright sunlight. It's kind of complicated. But yeah. So yeah, there you go. So once again, the dim range is in meters, so this is actually measuring in meters. So as you can see, 10 meters out to here, 10 meters out to here. This is the dimly lit zone. Here's the brightly lit. And then this is their maximum view distance, basically, and dark. If you wanted to try to mimic, I guess, real life lighting vision distance, D&D says it's 60 feet, I think it is. So that's like all over here. That's still relatively not enough distance. So you would end up having to bump it basically up to like 80 or something. I'll show you that now. Actually, did I math on that wrong? Okay, no, 60, yeah. 60 meters is how big most of my maps are, so never mind. Sometimes there are firefights that go up to 100 meters and warmer 40k. But that's beside the point. Anyways, that's how you export a map. Now I'm going to do a quick theory thing right here. I want to be able to quickly update the map without changing everything and having to re-import it. So what does Foundry do when it takes one of those oops. So the file that I exported from this program was a DD2VTT file format, and when you export it into Foundry, it then creates a file to pair with it, which I have to double check it. What is it? Where is my map? Where is my map? 1 second. Weird. Can't seem to find it. Where did I save it to? It should have been dumped in here. It's weird for it not to be in here. Let me quickly click export and then figure out where it dumped my map. No, it's definitely in here. Weird. Alright, so it starts with K. Don't really feel like looking for it in alphabetical order. Just switch it to here. Here we go. Knife Point Dungeon. Oh, that's weird. Oops. So it creates a DD2VTT map format. File format, and then normally it creates a WebP file to go with it. But for here, it didn't do that for some reason, which is interesting. And oh right, yes, I was going to update the thing and see if it would update the file in Foundry. So this is the map 2 here. This is my map 2 example update. I'm going to see if it actually changes the file. Changes it in Foundry, so I have to re-import everything. Now I'm going to go into Foundry. Probably should reload the application. I should probably turn that off. And no, it doesn't re-import it. So that means I have to go into here. Figure. Probably import data. I don't think that worked. I need to turn that off. Alright, so you can't update maps. So if you scribbled on this side, you have to make sure you copy that to the next version of it you make if you're trying to expand the dungeon out slowly. So anyways, that was a good little troubleshooting thing I did real fast, I guess. I don't know. Don't know if that's useful to people. But that's just an FYI. You have to pretty much start over from scratch. And by that I mean you have to edit points. Save. And then I don't need this up anymore. So by starting over from scratch, I mean you have to go to here and re-import those 2 maps all over again. So you can't just update them one file and then expect it to look different. And then I'll show you right now that the update did go through. I mean, I did export it differently. So if I, oops, click the wrong one. So as you can see, what I did make a change. However, it didn't change this one over here. And why would you want both maps combined like that? Well, because it's cooler like that, I guess. Okay. Alright. That's the end of my little tutorial on how to get everything done. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to probably make these single doors. So you're going to have to open the left and the right. You just click once and it opens both doors. Alright, thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye-bye now.